I want to show you how to work with gradients in Inkscape 1.0. First of all, let's draw some objects. Okay, now you can either use this tool here, create and edit gradients, to manipulate or work with gradients, or you can also go to Objects, Fill and Stroke, and then you get this dialog box here, and then you can also work with gradients. If you look at if you go to Objects and you go to Fill and Stroke, first of all you have this actually gives, if you are new in Inkscape, the boundary here is called the stroke, and you see here the color is red, and the inside is called the fill. Now if you don't want anything, you normally go here and it says no paint or no fill. If you go here, it gives you the color. If you want to change the color, you can just choose any color at all you like here, but I prefer to work with yellow so it's visible for you to see better. Now we are going to the main thing, that is gradients. If you go here, this introduces a linear gradient. The linear gradient is like you have something, this has more of transparency, and this has the full color more or less. Now you can manipulate this by just going to this line here and moving it up and down. You see, if I move it up and down, it changes it. If I also go to the other end of it, I don't know whether it's visible. Let's make it a bit bigger. Now you can go to the hole here or a small circle here and manipulate this, move it up and down. It works very well if you want. Now another thing is, if you want to work, as I said, you can also use this tool here. If you want to if you press this tool and you come here and you press this, you can also do the same thing as I'm doing with this other tool which was here. Now with this tool here, this gradients or creates an edit gradient tool, when you press you go to the small circle here and you press it or click it, this thing shows. So one thing you can do is that this helps you to introduce another node. Let's see here, you see this introduce another node, and you can introduce a gradient there. You can also go to this thing here and try to introduce nodes by double clicking this line. So if I double click it, you can introduce another color there. You can double click this here and introduce maybe another color there. So you can double click, introduce another color, maybe red. Yes, you can just double click and introduce colors here. Now if you come here, this is the linear gradient. If we look at, let's look at another this circle up here. Now we go to the next one. This is the linear gradients and this is the linear gradients. You can either choose this or work with this. Now if you go here, you go to the radial gradient. So let's select our objects and go to the radial gradient. You see, with this one you have this and you can manipulate it as well. If you double click this circle here, you can introduce some color in there in case you want some red or so. And then this one here, there are two circles, small circles here. You can you can press these two circles. When you change either one, or if you change this, it affects this. It's the same thing. You can either change this or this. If you change this or this, you get the same color. So if in case I press it and do something there, you see it's affected everything here. You can also do it with this. This is the same thing. You can just use it and move up and down, try to do whatever thing you want to introduce. This can be moved in case you want it here, and then you can press this if you want to introduce something more. I mean, you can do whatever you like with the play around with it. Now the next one here, this is for the fill. It's like the fill here. Now this is for the stroke. It's the same as here. Here we have the fill. Fill is the inside thing and the stroke is the boundary. We can also here you can deal with the stroke. This goes to the stroke, and the stroke, you see, you can put a linear gradient in the stroke as well, or you can put a radial gradient in the stroke. In the same way, if you can do the same thing using this. If you use this and then I come here, I can just be doing things with the stroke. I don't know whether you can see. So I can do whatever I like with the stroke. You see, I'm manipulating the stroke. The stroke is the boundary. I can do things with it as well. So that's more or less how to use the gradients. Let's see here. This thing here tells us where it started, and this tells us where it stops. The gradient. You mean for example, and this thing here, in case I select this object here, I can use this. You see, this reverses the direction of the gradient. Initially it was here, and now if you press it, it reverses the direction of the gradient. This tool here is also, it gives us a mesh gradient. Now this one here gives us a pattern. I mean, there are different patterns you can choose here. So you can either choose, there are so many patterns here, like stripe. I don't know what I chose was not really. You can choose whichever pattern you want. They have description of patterns. I've not actually made use of it, but yeah, if you can go through it and see which pattern you want, and then you choose it. Yes, so that's basically how to put gradients in your objects. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to help me. Bye.